Hey guys, it's Katie. I'm an addict in recovery. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new and you just clicked on this video, thank you. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button or follow me on Instagram or TikTok. Everything is linked down below in the description box. And today's video is going to be on life on life's terms. So contrary to the title for the video, recovery does not make your life perfect. It does, however, give you the tools to improve on yourself and make your life better and always be moving in a positive direction for yourself. And let's see, we'll start with my story too, because my story is important to tell you what life on life's terms really means, because when I first heard it, I understood the words, but I didn't really understand what it was supposed to mean, what I was supposed to do with that. And this video is important for my recovery newcomers, of course, so that you can get all the information you need and explained in such a way that you don't get it in different programs, because they kind of expect you to know. And so let's get started. Let's see. When I first started going to meetings, I kept hearing about this pink, fluffy cloud. I think they called it fluffy. They for sure called it a pink cloud. And I remember the meeting I was at when I first heard this, and I remember when I first heard the word in the reading. And this meeting, it happened to be my home group meeting that I've actually gone to for like 8 or 9 years now. Even if I miss like months at that particular meeting, I can come back and it's like I'm family. Anyway, so I went to that meeting that night, and a meeting that was usually a maximum of 6 people, including myself, was like 60 or 70 people that night. It just so happened when I pulled in the parking lot, it was a major triple celebration of a lot of time together. I think collectively that night they had almost 100 years of sobriety together that night, the 3 of them celebrating for that anniversary. So it was a big meeting, and there was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of the readings. The meeting was usually an hour long. This one took almost 2 hours, which was totally fine. But it opened my eyes, but then again it also made me a little wary. I didn't understand this pink cloud, and I remember conflicting thoughts about it. I kind of felt like the way they were explaining it, that the pink cloud phase, it was supposed to happen right in the beginning of your recovery, like as soon as you got clean or sober or whatever. You were supposed to get on this pink cloud, and the way I understood it, it sounded to me like the pink cloud was like you're high without being high, and then after this pink cloud wore off, you were gonna hit a low, similar to rock bottom. So to me, it sounded like using and recovery all over again in recovery was what the pink cloud seemed like to me. And life on life's terms sounded shitty. Like, like the shittiest parts of everything you could possibly imagine in your day-to-day life. That's what you had to do, was what they were telling me. And some of that's true. There is some truth to that. Don't get off track here. We'll get to that in another video. Let's check my script here. Let's see where else we were headed. And okay, so back to my story. I might have caught a glimpse of the pink cloud. There was a time several years ago now, where I struggled with relapse over and over again. You know, I'd have 5 months clean here, go back out again, use for another couple of months, come back, be clean for another couple of months, and go back out. And I kept doing that. And if I would stay clean for a couple of months or whatever, you know, a couple of weeks, couple of months was about the extent of it. That was really all I could do at that time. I wasn't strong enough for myself yet. I hadn't empowered myself yet in my recovery. So I felt the pink cloud, like, I guess you could call it like high on life. That's generally what like normal people call it. They call it high on life, but really, in recovery, you call it the pink cloud. It's not anything fabulous. It's it's kind of delusional, and then everything kind of settles in, and reality hits you like things are kind of shitty. Life kind of sucks. Like, I'm clean and doing what I'm supposed to do, but life kind of sucks. But it does get better, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there with the rest of the story. So, let's move on here to the next part of my story. Let's go. And let me tell you this first. I have years in sobriety, in recovery, and I still cannot, for the life of me, put the things I remember in chronological order. Sometimes if I tell you a story, it might not have happened in that order. Like, it definitely happened, but it might not have gone in that order, and maybe later I'll catch myself and be like, okay, well, no, this happened first. So just keep that in mind while you know, we go over my story. Just so you know where I'm coming from. Sometimes it might not make sense for a minute until I catch it, and then I'll come back and reset up the story for you so it goes in chronological order so you understand. So the next part of the story, let's say, because this was the many next time that I got clean and decided to work on my recovery, which was this time. This was almost 4 years ago now. It'll be January 20th. Will be 4 years for me. So when I got into recovery this time, I did it differently. Recovery is supposed to be very, very personalized, and that is for a reason, and it's not for anyone to judge your path so long as it leads you where you need to go. You know, if it's on an unhealthy path in a negative way, you know, obviously there needs to be concern, but as long as what you're doing is working for you, nobody should judge. They don't have the place, especially in recovery. We need support. So the next part of my recovery, I went to a Suboxone program, and at the time it was new and up and coming for our area, the way they were doing it, and different guidelines and stuff they had, and different things that were allowed with this program that were not previously. It was like a test that the government mandates had actually kind of loosened up on a little bit to give this a test to see how they could actually help all the addicts that are struggling in our country. And in the world too, but it was for our country. So this program, I did it exactly how they said. You know, we're not going to go into that program because that is actually another one of another video for the My Share playlist, where I share about my personal account of my recovery and don't really reiterate to you steps of recovery, just my personal life, what happened in my life. So over on that playlist, you can check that out. I will post that here in the next couple of days. So let's get back on track here. So I was on the Suboxone, and this lasted for about almost 2 years that I was on the Suboxone. So let's call that my pink cloud, because I don't really want to speak about certain parts of recovery that I don't really have the experience in that some people are looking for, so I don't want to point you in a certain direction. Really small dose, but um, it it was still fairly uncomfortable. Never mind that I was rather pregnant at this time, so beyond uncomfortable, beyond uncomfortable, going through hormonal changes and trying to find, going through emotional discovery for myself. So I mean, it all stacked on pretty thick, right there, and it made me feel like maybe recovery wasn't for me, like it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, like everyone had been saying, is what I thought. That's what I really thought. That's how bad I felt. That's why it's important to have a network and support in your network and positive people in your life every day, even if it's just on my channel or my Instagram page, my TikTok, any of that. Find support, find positivity. You need to have that to stay positive on the inside, to keep moving in the direction you need to go. So I think that was the most relatable thing I can attribute to the pink cloud effect, and not everyone does it like me. They don't. I can only share what I know, what I've done, and what I know works. It worked for me. I'm not pushing it on you like what fixed me is absolutely going to fix you, and if you don't do it, you're going to stay broken forever, and that's not the case. So I worked really hard. I did a lot of work in a very short amount of time. I had to. I got clean. I owned up to everything awful I had ever done. I had to look the people I had hurt the most in the face every day and try to be decent, account for the things I had done wrong. That was the hardest part, the fixing. Life on life's terms means that the fixing is not going to be easy. It means it's not going to be your cup of tea. It's not going to be comfortable. The more uncomfortable you are, it's probably the better direction that you're heading. I know for myself, I know what work I put in, and I know what I've accomplished with that work because of my recovery, but that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and say that it didn't just like rip my insides out all day, every day, to go through this and work through this. Rack my brain for solutions to problems that I created without ever intending to solve the problem. I made the problem intending for it to stay a problem, and now I had to figure out how to fix them. And most of it worked out. Some of it, though, life on life's terms again, guys, you're not going to be able to fix everything. You're not going to be able to apologize to everyone. You can't make up for everything you did. And part of recovery is forgiving yourself for having the disease of addiction. It's nothing you did wrong. I hope all the best for all of you, and I hope you feel my support and know that I'm here. I've been through what you're going through, and I promise you can make it. There are going to be days, just like I had, where I did not think tomorrow was ever going to come, and even if it did, it was going to be the worst day on the fucking planet. And if it wasn't, I was going to make sure it was. It was the end of the world all the time because of how hard everything was all of a sudden because of recovery. But it was what I had to undo to get to where I was headed. That is life on life's terms. Do whatever shitty, awful things. I mean, the things you want least to do ever in your life, you have to do all day, every day. And that is how you fix things. How awful, right? It does actually get better. If you put in that work, I have a feeling that your life can be more beautiful than it would have been had you never fallen victim to your addiction. I truly believe people in recovery have an insight, have something special about them, some kind of emotional motivation to better themselves, not only for themselves, but for humanity. And that is one of the most hopeful things I could possibly imagine. So back to my script. I got off track a little bit here. Let's see. All right, so that was an important point I needed to make about life on life's terms, something that I learned in a meeting. And actually after the meeting, I wrote it in the back of my book in the notes section so that I would always remember this, because, you know, you buy a book from a program, you keep that book for life, you know, unless it like gets destroyed or whatever. I don't know how it would. They make them, they're like high dollar books, you know, you don't just, you can't just drop it and then it just falls apart like a little pamphlet and it's trash. No. You know, I wrote it down in the back of my book, and the guy explained to me, I forget how he actually said it, but it was along the lines of, you know, if you're uncomfortable and in pain and everything's hard and you're in early recovery, you are on the right path. If you feel all of those things right now, you are on the right path. Don't stop. Don't stop before the miracle. The miracle is right around the corner. Do not stop at the end of the street because you haven't seen the miracle yet. Turn your head. Take a step. Don't stop. Don't slow down because everything's awful. That means you are right on the edge of everything being everything you hoped for. Everything you worked for. And I hope the best for all of you out there. I'm so thankful that you found this video and you're here to support my recovery and support your recovery and other addicts' recoveries. We need a network, and we need to support each other. We need to share our experience, strength, and hope. And remember, guys, take your recovery one day at a time, and keep watching for more support and strength and hope in your recovery, and keep coming back. It does work if you live it every day, one day at a time. See you next time, guys. Thanks.